Well, it's official. Suzuki has launched the Vstrom 1050, and I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed. Much like the Honda Africa Twin, they're trying to monetize on the image. First, let's get this out of the way. The Vstrom 1050 is really the 1000. It's got the same frame, it's got the same tires, it's got the same suspension, and it really is the same displacement as the 1000. Suzuki had a hit on their hands with the 650. The 1000 was not a great bike. It was just simply too heavy, and no one really seemed to like it because you could do so much more with the 650 than you could with a 1000. I'm not trying to say that the 650, because I ride it, is perfect. It's not, and in my previous videos, I've talked to you guys about how it is not a perfect bike, and looks wise, I think Suzuki needs to get a new designer because their bikes do not look great. This Vstrom 1050 is styled after the DR800 of old. In the 90s, it was a very popular bike along with the Africa Twin and the Yamaha Tenere. Those three were extremely popular as the big trailies in Europe. Very similar styling for the DR800 and the Vstrom 1050. And in a way, I prefer the DR800, and it's a lot simpler. They're even bringing back the same colors, kind of like what Honda did with the Africa Twin and the Yamaha with the Tenere. But you have to keep in mind that the Tenere and the Africa Twin were really good bikes, very sought after. The DR800 was not sought after, mainly because it was kind of rare and it wasn't a great seller. But the Teneres and Africa Twins are very difficult to get nowadays because people want them and they keep them. If you were lucky enough to have a 90s Africa Twin, that bike appreciates in value quite a bit and holds its value over time. The Tenere follows a second, and the DR800, I just couldn't find it anywhere. But I do own a 1995 Africa Twin that's very sought after, and then everywhere I go, people want to buy it, which is kind of odd. The one thing I like about the Vstrom 1050 is that singular headlight. It does echo the DR800, but I feel the limiting factor here is going to be the weight, because this thing is essentially the 1000, but just wearing different clothes. It weighs about the same as the 1000. It's got a whole lot more technology, which for a guy like me, I don't really care too much about all the technology. It is nice to have all the creature comforts that comes with the technology, like cruise control and ABS that's got 2 selections. But I believe that the Vstrom 1050 should have come stock with a 21-inch front wheel and a shaft-driven drive. And I have ridden the 1000 before, and I didn't really like it because the problem is when you come from the 650 to the 1000, you might not think that the weight is significantly higher, but in the corners, it really comes out as being very evident. So a 650 Vstrom does everything that people want these bikes to do. They'll ride across the United States or any continent and have no issues. The 1000 is just much more bike, and you don't necessarily get more for your money. Let's hope that this bike is going to be a success, but I think it's just going to flop like the 1000cc version of the Vstrom did.